if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. You do not sell your Bitcoin. Thank you.
Bitcoin is worthless artificial gold.
Within a decade, crypto and blockchain technology will be the 12th sector of the S&P.
Bitcoin doesn't have any value in and of itself. It's not backed up by anything.
Roughly a coin, average price of $30,700. Spent about $4 million on it.
Is that we are not buying this dip because it's not a dip.
Something absolutely gigantically huge is coming for Bitcoin and the crypto markets. And what I'm about to tell you is so big, I need to preface it by recommending that you sit down before you watch this video. Because what this data reveals is so absurd, so downright disgusting, that even 10 beers and a shot of extra silly juice won't make you want to give it a smooch. So sit down, buckle in, and ask your mommy for some extra lunch money, because we are about to split it. Right now, Bitcoin is closer than ever to potentially one of the most absolutely mind-blowing, mind-melting, mind-bending webisodes that we've ever seen. And once you take a look at some of this data that is right now showing up in these markets, you will literally never be the same again. And dare I say, you will be filled to the brim with so much juice that you will have no choice but to let loose in the baby bear's caboose. Make sure to turn these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. Without any further ado, let's dump in to what surely will be one of the most revolutionary, game-changing videos that has ever been recorded. Truly, absolutely ginormous. So we take a look here with Bitcoin right now on this weekly chart. You see a lot of things. And one of the biggest things you can see is that over the last year, not only have we been dumped on, right? Okay. It's actually one of my favorite hobbies at this point. The longer you're in crypto, the more you enjoy getting completely covered. Absolutely covered in straight dumpage, right? And that's exactly what we see here. And now what this looks like to me is mind-bending. And if we look at this chart, we actually now, on the weekly chart, have set for the very first time some bullish divergence here, where we have correspondingly here with this big dump here, and currently with this low. We are actually seeing Bitcoin now set bullish divergence realistically for the first time. And now there are so many things that, I mean, again, this has been the way for months that so many indicators are screaming Bitcoin needs a very strong bounce, but the macroeconomic factors have not allowed that. The conditions have not allowed that. And Bitcoin has just gotten further and further dumped on. Most recently, this biggest dump was because of Sam Bubblebutt Fried and his, well, what can I say? His large appetite for beautiful women, such as Sweet Sweet Caroline. And that has really been what has dictating this dump for the last couple of weeks, the entire month of November. We've gotten completely dumped on because Sam just could not keep his little paws off Sweet Sweet Caroline. And to be honest, I can't blame the guy. She's a cutie. But also, one thing I want to highlight here is that besides this bullish divergence we see with Bitcoin on the weekly chart, on Bitcoin's 10-day chart as well, we have seen the first swing in momentum just very recently on the 10-day chart as well. Now, one thing we do note is that on the 10-day chart, we've actually gotten a bearish cross, I believe, with the 10-day going below the 200-day on the 10-day chart for the first time in history. So that is a very, very big cautionary metric to be watching. But we also see this looks to be like the highest amount of volume that we've gotten here since, well, yes, I guess the crash back in March of 2020. So this is the highest amount of dumpy volume we've seen since the last concrete bottom here. So promising signs, really, if you're looking for Bitcoin to potentially move up. But before we actually continue with the charts, I want to look at something else first, because I do want to look at these charts, multiple charts, including more than just Bitcoin. But Bitcoin addresses holding at least one Bitcoin have been completely skyrocketing. As you can see on this chart, this red line, we start at the very end of 2021 up until now. This red line has completely exploded as people have taken the opportunity to buy more crypto, to buy more Bitcoin specifically over the last year. Crypto is not dead. Far from it. The interest in crypto, maybe people aren't tweeting as much. Maybe there's not as much engagement on videos and stuff like that. That doesn't matter. The fact is, people are aware of crypto and they're using this as an opportunity more so than ever before. Okay. Buying the dip has never been more present than it is right now. People understand that more so than ever. Not everyone, absolutely not everyone understands this, but more people than ever understand that you make the most money buying the carnage, buying the blood, buying the absolute devastating dump that us crypto holders have come to love and also hate. I love it. I also hate it. But, this is the time where accumulation should be, this is where you should be accumulating, right? And a lot of people are, and that's exactly what this data is showing here. In addition, one thing I want to highlight, Coinbase did reveal they have reserves of about 2 million Bitcoin, about 10% of Bitcoin that exist, worth over 33 billion currently. And this is good. It can be good and bad, right? But one of the reasons this can be seen as good is because maybe one of these top exchanges actually has the Bitcoin that they say they have. Unlike scam bubble butt frauds, FTX, where they didn't have any Bitcoin, right? They were just existing on debt. They were existing on nothing out of thin air and monopoly money. Not even monopoly money. They were existing on nothing. So centralized exchanges are not the best. However, if a centralized exchange actually has the reserves that it says that it has, then that is a net good thing. If they're not straight up lying to us about what they have, then that can only be seen as a good thing, right? So, of course, centralized exchanges are not like the end all be all. They're not the perfect solution. And ultimately, that's not like hopefully where crypto is heading, where it's just centralized exchanges or one monopolized or one gigantic exchange like Binance or Coinbase. This is good news, though, in the sense that if a crypto exchange actually has the crypto and it's not made up and they're not lying, then that's good. Because if people want to go and withdraw that money from the exchange, they can get it. Which, remember, that's why FTX collapsed. FTX did not have any of that. And so when people started withdrawing, they collapsed. And as well, what we see here is just very big. Crypto, the OBV, on balance volume, is an indicator giving a taste of possible bullish times to come. According to Alan Tardigrade, now is the time to pay attention here as the BTC USD weekly chart has printed 20 weeks of bullish divergence, indicating weakening of a downtrend momentum. Part of accompanying Twitter comments say Bitcoin may pick up a massive rally here, and you can see that potential very bullish times ahead for the space. Now, again, this all has to be factored in with the stock market as well and everything going on, and that's where we can transition here, as right now the DXY is struggling right around the 106 level here. And as we said, I still believe that it's very possible we could see a move up to 110 where the DXY could get rejected and continue to head lower here. But it's so important to note the DXY is the weakest that it's been in like the last 2 years. It has never had a rejection this strong and this dumpy falling out of such a parabolic range in the last 2 years. This looks, out of the last 2 years, this is the worst that the DXY has looked after it looked so good for the past 2 years. It looked amazing for the past 2 years. And now it's showing weakness for the first time, which can be promising for the stock market and Bitcoin as well. Not to mention the stock market right now is testing this level right here, where if over the next few days it does break this previous high right around, it's right there right now, 4,030, then again, the stock market could continue to rally. And I think a lot of people are waiting for this in anticipation. Will it happen today? I don't know. Will it happen next week? Nobody knows. But if it does break these levels, if it actually truly does not set a double top here and pops up, and if the DXY does not set a double bottom here and actually breaks down, then that is mega bullish for crypto as well, if we break down here, and the stock market. So this is a very tense time right here for the space. But again, more importantly, I think crypto is just in such a position to where, I mean, let me ask you this. If a month goes by, and let's just say the price of Bitcoin, let's say Bitcoin does have a relief rally. Let's say it goes up to, I don't know, somewhere in the $20,000 range, something like this. Everybody on the planet is going to be telling you, wow, I told you, this was the perfect flip of resistance to support. This is, we were so overdue for a bounce. Even if it is a relief rally, even if over the then following months we go lower, everybody will be telling you this was the most obvious trade in history. But right now, it is not so obvious for most people because it hasn't happened yet. But this is one of those moments where again, if the conditions are met, where if the DXY truly does collapse here, if the stock market truly begins a Santa Claus rally, which, keep in mind, this is a very historically bullish period for the market. Santa Claus rally is a thing because of past performance. It's a real thing. Typically, the stock market can rally into Christmas time, Christmas season. And if we see any of that again, we could see a very strong relief rally for Bitcoin that will leave many baby bears completely dizzy and stumbling on their toes. These absolute time-sensitive alerts. Take advantage of over $30,000 in deposit bonuses for a limited time with BITGET below. In addition, if you simply create an account by putting in an email and creating a password on BITGET, it takes 30 seconds, you receive a $30 free welcome gift. And additionally, you can see a lot of these deposit bonuses below. Limited time, very high amounts of deposit bonuses. And as well, they have even just spot trading with 0 fees if you're not interested in derivatives trading or anything like that. Without you from the queue, that's free.